Good morning, friends. So, today for science class, we are going to wrap up our study on the water cycle. So, we will do a little experiment, but let's recap all of the phases that we've learned about. So, we start off with evaporation. And what happens in the evaporation phase? Well, the big bright sun warms the water, and the water turns from a liquid to a gas, vapor, right? Water vapor. And it rises from the streams and oceans and rivers, and it goes up into the atmosphere. Okay? Evaporation. The next step in the water cycle is condensation. Remember that C word, condensation means clouds. So the water goes from a liquid to a gas, so the water vapor. And when it goes way high up into the atmosphere, it starts to get cold. So the water vapor ends up getting heavy and forms clouds. But then they keep getting heavier and keep getting heavier and keep getting heavier until the cloud cannot hold the moisture anymore and it releases everything. And that's when it starts to fall from the sky as the third phase, precipitation. So remember, precipitation can be rain, snow, sleet, hail, fog, mist, all that fun stuff. So it falls back down, and then it collects the fourth phase back down to the earth in the water. So oceans, streams, rivers, ponds, and it collects back, and then it keeps going over and over and over again. So I'll sing the water cycle song. Are you ready? Do you remember it? Maybe you've been practicing this whole time. Remember, it's sung to the tune of She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain. You ready? Water travels in a cycle, yes it does. Water travels in a cycle, yes it does. It goes up as evaporation, forms a cloud as condensation, then comes down as precipitation, yes it does. So today, for our experiment, you will need the following. A Sharpie, some water colored blue, or you can do whatever color you want. I did blue. A Ziploc baggie, okay, so make sure it has the zip. Mine doesn't have the zip, but make sure it has a zip. So the sandwich size bag works best. And then you will need some tape. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to do this step by step with you. Okay, so if you have the things ready and you want to pause the video, you can do that, and then we can do it all together. Or you can just watch the video and then do it on your own. Okay, so I have my Ziploc baggie. And at the bottom of the baggie, so right here, I'm going to draw some waves to represent water. Okay, so here's my waves. Does anybody remember what the phase is when the water comes back down to earth? After precipitation, it comes back to earth and it collects. So I'm going to write collection right here in the middle. Okay? All right, so here's my collection so you guys can see. All right, collection. What happens when the sun warms the water and it turns to vapor and starts to rise in the atmosphere? What's that called? Let me hear it. Evaporation. You guys are great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw squiggly arrows coming up from the water. Remember, I'll show you what this looks like. Okay, here's my squiggly lines. And I'm going to label it evaporation. So the water's warming up and it turns to vapor and it is rising up into the atmosphere. But we can't forget the one important thing that helps warm the water. What's that big yellow ball in the sky? The sun. So we're going to draw a sun right in this corner. And if you have a yellow marker after you're done and you want to color it in yellow, you can do that too. So I'm going to draw my sun. Maybe you want to draw him with some cool shades on because he's so awesome and cool. Big smiley face. Okay, there's my sun. So the sun warms the water, it turns into vapor, it starts to rise into the atmosphere, and then it forms what? When the water vapor starts to cool, it forms clouds. What is that called? Condensation. All right, so I'm going to draw a big fluffy cloud. And I am going to write condensation. Okay. Now what happens when there's too much moisture in that cloud and it can't hold it anymore? What happens? The cloud releases all of the water and it comes down as what? Precipitation. You guys are awesome. So I'm going to draw some arrows coming down from the cloud. And I'm going to draw some raindrops. Maybe you guys want to draw some snowflakes. You can draw some snowflakes. Here's my snowflakes. And then I am going to label that precipitation. All right, so here's my arrows coming down from the cloud. They're falling down. I have my raindrops and my snow and precipitation. So I happen to have a yellow marker. So I'm going to color in my sun yellow. Okay. And then what you are going to do is you are going to take the water and you are going to pour it in so it's right where the waves are. Okay. Since my baggie does not have a Ziploc on it, I'm not going to do that with this one, but I have a smaller one because I have a sandwich bag that I had already filled with water. Okay, so mine looks really little, but this is what yours is going to look like when you fill it with the water. Okay, now comes the tape. You are going to tape it in a window that gets a lot of sun. Okay, probably not today, although you can put it up today, but we probably won't see anything happen today. But I want you to watch and I want you to observe what happens. So we learned that when water evaporates, right, the water level goes down, right, because the water is turning to vapor. So over time, one of the things that you are going to see is your blue water is going to start to go down. Okay, it's not going to be as full as it was before. And another thing that you are going to see is when it's warm and the sun is hitting the window, you are going to see condensation start to form on the inside of your bags. Okay, so you'll see little dots of water vapor for condensation. All right, and then precipitation will happen when those little tiny water drops start getting bigger and bigger. You'll notice that they'll start to drip down into the bag and collect back down into the water. So I can't wait to see you guys working on your experiments. And then after you're done with this, in the comment section of Facebook, I will also post a water cycle flip book for you guys to do. So have fun, guys.